War has become unfashionable and will shortly be unthinkable. May 15, 2013. Humanity's progress towards awakening is proceeding apace, and that is because you have reached the point in the process where you had previously decided to allow an enormous acceleration to occur in the rate at which you accumulate knowledge. Knowledge accumulation reduces ignorance and the limits that ignorance imposes. No longer are any subjects taboo. No longer is there any prohibition that prevents researchers from investigating the fields that interest and intrigue them. This freeing up of orientation is accompanied by enthusiastic encouragement for those with new ideas that they wish to develop, leading to a mushrooming, expanding flow of information between diverse fields of knowledge, which further accelerates the accumulation of knowledge. In your present state of limited consciousness, soon to be dissolved, ignorance has been one of the overriding limits that you imposed on yourselves. It is a very strange limitation because it encourages you to believe that all you know is all that there is to know. And your egos defend this belief most strenuously, hence your constant need to make the choice either to be right or happy. When you admit freely that you do not know something, you expand your sense of freedom, you allow yourselves to learn, and that makes you happy. The ego does not like that because it reduces its power over you. Admittedly, it is power that you gave it, and as you are well aware, no one likes to lose any of their power, influence, sense of importance, or personal autonomy, which in some instances has been known to persuade people that they are above the laws that bind everyone else. And of course it is well acknowledged that knowledge is power, so those who possess it have been, for the most part, very reluctant to share it. However, over the last 40 or 50 years, a growing number of very intelligent and well-meaning individuals have been making it a career choice, making it their vocation to develop new ideas and concepts and to share them freely and without restriction in a most humanitarian manner. The result of engaging with this kind and loving attitude is most apparent in your modern communications technologies, which have grown and developed far more effectively, efficiently, and faster than would have ever been possible had those individuals chosen in any way to restrict the knowledge that they were so freely sharing. And of course others, the majority, who were also developing new ideas, were frequently very threatened if not outraged by this, as they saw it completely irresponsible and patently insane behavior, this giving away of power, which was so damaging to the established order and all it stood for. Nevertheless, it is quite apparent now that these courageous individuals demonstrated great wisdom in their decisions to share their knowledge they had worked long and hard to uncover, because of the enormous knock-on effect it has had. When you share knowledge freely and easily, the knowledge base expands exponentially and everyone benefits. This expansion in humanity's field of knowledge is one of the stimulants, one of the catalysts that is leading you rapidly forwards towards your inevitable awakening. Why? Because it is readily apparent that humanity has to cooperate generously and harmoniously if it wants to survive, and to cooperate harmoniously is to stir towards awakening. You are now evolving spiritually at a rate that could not have been imagined just 50 years ago. The major wars in the last century were also major triggers to awakening because so many of you suffered and experienced at very close range the horrors to which aggressive and egoic agendas inevitably led, and you resolved not to allow it to happen again. That resolve is now bearing fruit, even though violent conflicts are still occurring in many places. The utter insanity of war is now fully acknowledged, and the concept of a just war has been most clearly demonstrated to be oxymoronic. Yes, some with strict, inflexible, and misguided opinions still believe that war can be justified, but few of them remain in positions of power or influence. War has become unfashionable and will shortly be unthinkable because you are currently evolving into a space which has no place for it and which will not permit it. A place in which a call to war would go unanswered even if it were made. In the run-up to awakening, continue to remind yourselves that love is the answer to every problem, without exception. In your quiet times of prayer, meditation, and reflection, focus on forgiving yourselves for any shortfalls or inadequacies you find within yourselves, and on forgiving others for theirs. Doing so will strengthen and nurture your sense of peace, of acceptance, and will encourage you to look for and see the positive signs and achievements, the indications of the major changes that are occurring all across the world as the moment for humanity's awakening draws ever closer. With so very much love, Saul. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman.wordpress.com